Welcome to my channel. This is Amy. In today's video, I am going to be doing something pretty fun that I like to do, which is participate in one of the coloring community's tag videos. And this one comes to us from the lovely Elm Colors, Erica at Elm Colors. And she posted a tag video for the month of February that is Share the Love coloring tag. And it's super cute, and I'm really enjoying watching some of the other videos that have participated in this tag already. My initial thought when I listened to some of the topics or questions was that, gee, this is extremely hard because it's basically like things you love, and I love so much, and it's hard to pick favorites. But I'm going to do my best, and I have thought about it a little bit more, and so I think I'm going to be okay. And I really wanted to participate in this one because it's really cute. So let's go ahead and get started. I am filming in a different space because I'm at my craft table where I do some of my coloring, and it's right in front of my computer and the monitor that I have up on the screen, the list of questions, so it's just gonna be easier for me. So the first one is share a finished page that you love and tell us what you love about it. So I'm gonna go with, and this may or may not be my favorite page or anything like that, although I do think it's one of my favorites from last year. So we are in Joanna Basford Magical Jungle, and I did one in here, my first completed page ever in 2024 was this one here, and I just love this one and how it turned out. I used Prismacolor pencil for the entire page. That was the only thing that I used. And I really just like how all the colors came together. I used a color palette that I found on Pinterest. And sometimes picking colors, and even when you have a color palette and you're applying them to the page to make sure that they're balanced properly or that the shading looks good, to me that can be extremely difficult. So I think I did a really nice job of doing that. And this was one of the first times where I played around with using different colors to do the shading instead of just one color with varying pressure. This was like the first time I just tried doing a background with a gradient of just colored pencil. And I think it turned out great, and I really like how this one looks. So I wanted to mention it for sure. The next question is, or the next prompt or topic is, share an uncolored page you love, and what is it about that page that you love the most? So I was just going to talk in general about this book here. It's got lots of uncolored pages because I've only completed one so far, but I love the uncolored pages in this book because they combine a couple of things for me, which are my love for Hannah Carlson and her artwork, and also like the Halloween spooky witchy vibes, which is another favorite of mine. So they combine two things, and I do like how these books are hardback, hardcover, and slightly smaller in size. So I think that's really cool. I love a bunch of them in here. That's the one that I finished last year, but they're just gorgeous. And I like how I am a cat person, and she does incorporate kitty cats into a lot of the pages. So I like that. I really like this one. But this one's cute. Lots of good pages in here. And this one's probably and it's a double page spread, which means I probably won't get to it anytime soon. But this is probably like one of my favorites because we've got a witch, we've got a kitty cat, and we're in the clouds on the moon. It's kind of like a celestial thing going on, which I like that too. Yeah, pages that I love. The next prompt is share a book that you love. And so for this one, I'm going to go with Anamorphia from Kirby Roseanne's. This book has been in my collection for a really long time. And true story, there was a time last year in 2024 when I would pick up books and put them in the car and look at them like after I parked and I got back to work, or like during a break, or if I was stopped or something, just because I was just appreciating the book so much, like loving the book. What draws me to this book, I will say that this is, I think, the first in his kind of Morphia collection. It's an older release, and one of the things that I don't necessarily like as much about it is it has a lot of these pages where it is asking you to fill in and draw and be creative. That's not really my thing, because I really just like to color, but I don't mind the doodles and the detail. This is the only Kirby book that I have actually colored in. I did this one, I called it finished, but now that I've been coloring a lot more since this page, I probably would have done a little bit more shading. I mean, there's definitely shading here. It's just, there could be more, and there could be shading with different colors. Like, I definitely didn't use, like I do now, a lot of darker colors to do shading. But I did a lot of mixed media on here. There is glossy accents on the fish eye. There's acrylic paint, watered down acrylic paint as a base. There is some gel, glitter gel, and Prismacolor. There's all kinds of things, and it's a little, didn't go through, but, there was definitely one in here that, I was gonna say, what draws me to these pages, it's just, I love and admire the artwork. And like I said, I think that's why I kind of went with this one too, because it is one of the books that I had taken with me. I took some of his books, looked at them, Joanna's books, and Hannah Carlson. I love this one. I might do this one for Year the Snake, because I haven't done this one yet. I love snakes. I'm excited. I have a lot of snake pictures. This is one of my favorites. I love tigers. Yeah, that's definitely a book that I love. All right, the next ask or topic is to share a background that you love. So I don't do a lot with backgrounds. I don't often feel that I need to, and I just don't have a ton of experience doing anything with a background, but I do have one that I wanted to share in this book, Magical Dawn from Hannah Carlson. It's simple, guys, so calm down. It's nothing extravagant. But this one here, and it was in March of 2024. I love this background because back when I was coloring this page, like, I didn't overthink anything. I kind of just did stuff, and that's most of my pages that I like the most. I find that that's the case. It's like when I don't really plan or overthink, that's usually when I do my best work. So for this one, I had just purchased some stencils, and I used Tim Holtz Distress inks and like an applicator sponge. And since I'm at my desk, I can show you a sponge applicator and like these Tim Holtz Distress inks. Wasn't this color, but I have a bunch of them here in my desk. So I used a stamp, did that, and then I also, I don't know if you can see it, have used also distressed inks to give this like a blush effect with a secondary color. This is like an orangey pink, and I probably just kind of went like in a swirling motion here to add another layer. but I really like how this turned out. Simple. It was so simple and effective. And I feel like I colored this one pretty quickly too. It didn't take me that long. This was my first ever Hannah Carlson page that I ever completed. I was completely and utterly intimidated by the beauty of the books, and I didn't want to mess anything up. And I know I'm getting over that, because thing is, there's plenty of pages that can be colored. It's, and it's something to be said about looking back at your progress that you've made and how much better you've gotten, and that is nice. And also, it's a book you can buy. You can buy another one if you need. If you really mess up that bad, you could always buy another book. So, all right. So the next topic is share what types of pages you love to color. Cutesy, portraits, realistic, fantasy, and why do you prefer that style? So I'm not big into any one specific style. I like to color a variety, and it honestly just has to do with what mood that I'm in. So sometimes I just want to do simple or color by number, depending on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I like a lot of cute. I definitely have a lot of cutesy type books, I would say. I can tell you, so what it used to be is that I would color pretty much just about everything except for horror. And now that's even changed, because like a year ago, if you had asked me about it, I wouldn't even watch book flip-throughs, or I would skip parts of haul videos where people had horror. And here I am admiring and purchasing my first kind of like horror coloring book, because Mythagoria, the recent books, like, and this one's Fabiana Attanasio, so it's probably no surprise, but to me, they're so much more beauty, and they're much more inviting. With like this Haunted Hearts one was my favorite of the ones that had been recently released, but I also like, there's a Poison Passion and one more, but there's several now that I'm like, wow, they're actually really beautiful in a dark gothic way. It's more gothic than anything else. And I still am not like, I'm not into horror movies. It depends on the movie. I don't like a bunch of gross stuff, but to me, this one was beautiful. I'm working in it for the month of February, because to me, this one is like, Haunted Hearts. It kind of fits the theme, and I'm almost done here. I just need to, it's in its ugly phase. I just need to do some shading, and this one is going to look super cool, I think, when I'm done with it. So yeah, that's, but otherwise, I can tell you, it's easier for me to tell you what I don't have. Like in my collection, I don't have a lot of portraits, except for like what's in a Hannah Carlson. I don't have chibis, and I'm not saying that I'm not ever going to color these things. It's just that currently I'm not drawn to them. So I have like no Hannah Lynn and no Deborah Mueller, or what was the other one? Carla Magana. Like, I don't have a whole bunch of just people-y books. I don't color a lot of people. I need to get better at it if I'm going to do those sorts of pages. But and I know some of them aren't really realistic anyway. But anyway, I like all kinds of styles. I'm pretty open to the things that I color. Next is share what objects you love to color and what are you excited to color. So again, here, there's not really much that I dislike to color. The only thing that'll sometimes annoy me, if I have a page where it's like maybe all plants or all flowers, I like some variety, and I like to have different colors. So sometimes that kind of I guess just, I don't know, what words are hard right now. I had a full day of work and I'm coming home and I was like, let's film. Anyway, there's not much that I don't like to color. Share what embellishments you love to use: stickles, loose glitter, metallic watercolor, drawing, collage. So I would say of those examples and of things that would be considered an embellishment, I probably would pick stickles. I've had stickles for a long time. Here's one that just happens to be sitting on my desk. I have about 10 different stickles. Most of them are this either clear silver or gold, and then I have a couple colors. I've had to replace them too because some of them are getting pretty old and dried out. But Jen from Reading with Pugs is how I was first introduced to stickles when I was following her channel for reading and coloring way back when, probably like 7-8 years ago. And she was definitely using stickles and coloring for adult coloring, and I thought that was a super idea. I think I had already had them, though. I did. I definitely had them before just because of scrapbooking and crafting, but I love stickles. I don't use them like all the time, but I definitely reach for those. And because it was mentioned, I also like metallic or pearlescent watercolor. This was actually when I was getting back into coloring last year, well, at least getting into the coloring community. This is one of the first supplies that I purchased were metallic watercolors because, I don't know, I'm drawn to them because they're shiny, because they're pearlescent. This is the Kuretake Pearl colors, and I think this is the rainbow set. And I got that off of Amazon. These are beautiful. And then this set was just a cheaper set of same thing, metallic pearlescent watercolors from Hobby Lobby here in the US. And it's hard to open, but there's a second tray, and it comes with one paintbrush. But so you get a good variety of colors, and they do pretty decent. And I did use these a bunch earlier in my coloring. I don't do it as much, and I guess because I forget about them sometimes, and I definitely need to reach for them. But I do love me some metallic watercolors for sure. The next topic: share what color you love to use on your pages. Is it the same as your favorite color? So I went back and I looked at like my pages that I've been coloring for the past year or so, and I wouldn't say that there's colors that I always use. I always love to have a color palette that I'm inspired by, but it's not necessarily like, it's not always warm tones or neutrals, or I do like to color realistic. If something seems like it could be realistic, then I'm probably going to want to color it those colors, which is why I have a hard time with the books that that are like from TV shows and of licensed characters and stuff like that, because then I feel like I can't be as creative. I know a few of you have said the same or similar things. But my favorite colors are reds and oranges. I don't necessarily color everything in those colors, though. The next topic: share what hobbies you love other than coloring. Are you an indoor cat or more outdoorsy? So it's so cute how she worded the question. I am definitely an indoor cat. All of my hobbies are pretty much indoor hobbies. I like going outside, and I definitely, when the weather is nice and warm, I like going for walks and also taking like coloring outside. Lucky for you, I actually filmed a video not that long ago that captures in a lot of detail some of my coloring adjacent hobbies. So I'm going to put a link. If you haven't checked that one out, that would be a good one to go watch to kind of fully answer this question. But in re-watching that video, I did realize that there were probably a couple more hobbies that I could have mentioned. So I'll give you my honorable mentions now, which is that I forgot to mention cross stitch, because it's not something I do. I don't even necessarily do it every year, but over the years, there have been some pretty nice projects that I have done that are cross stitch. So I really enjoy cross stitching. That could have probably been a coloring adjacent activity. But some of the non-coloring related activities that I didn't mention, I love going to concerts. My husband and I, we have been to so many concerts, and now we've taken our kids to some concerts. But I love doing that. I love playing board games. We have lots of board games. We do kind of board game get-togethers with friends, have game nights, and I like card games too. We used to be really big into poker. My husband and I would play a ton of poker. We'd play in a little league here back before we had kids and back before we got married, but we don't do that really much anymore. I love Legos. I've always loved Legos, even before they came out with the like more, I guess, adult retro and nostalgic sets. Even before then. So I have a ton of Legos. I am fresh out of space anywhere in my house to really put more Legos. So it's a problem that I have to kind of figure out in terms of like what I want to do to create some space, or what am I going to do with the sets. Was there anything else that I forgot to mention last time? I have a lot of hobbies, and I think that's like many of you, maybe. I don't know, but I don't have time for all my hobbies, but I definitely have a lot of them. But coloring is one that I have definitely been making time for and do a lot of. All right. Share. So how are we on time? We are okay. I think I'm getting to the end of the list here. It says, oh yeah. So share what you love most about coloring and our wonderful coloring community. So for me, coloring is definitely a go-to for focusing my mind, to help alleviate just the stress of everyday life. So stress and also anxiety. It's really helpful in that way. And if you're coloring what you love and with the right mediums and things that interest you, it is not stressful. I know that the thought of coloring for some people can be stressful, and I think that just depends on the book. You have to like it, and there's the good news with that is there's like a ton of variety, so you can kind of switch it up depending on what mood you're in. So that's what I love about coloring. It's very ASMR for me. And the coloring community is, to me, this community is very, first of all, it's very large. Y'all, there are so many people coloring on YouTube and Instagram, and it is amazing. I'm so happy. One of the reasons why I started my channel is because I had this, FOMO. I also kind of felt like if I don't participate and keep the community going, that it could dwindle. And that was like a concern of mine. But it turns out that there are so many people out there coloring, and it's so diverse. You have all kinds of people, all ages, all, differences in technique and style and what they color, and it's fantastic. I love it. And they're so welcoming, just like with this coloring tag that Erica started. And, she tagged people, but then like she did and many others have done is just by saying, hey, this tag is open to everyone. Anyone who wants to participate. There's so many people out there that are in this community and very supportive of one another. And I really, really, really like that. So, all right. Well, thanks for listening to me go on and on. And thanks to Erica of Elm Colors again for posting this tag video, and for everyone else who's been participating. I really have fun with these. I created what do you call it? Like a folder of my tag videos, because I have a couple others. And like when I first started my channel, I think I did Faves 2024. It doesn't have like I didn't have a ton of followers or subscribers at that point, and I was just getting my channel going, so it doesn't have like a ton of views or anything like that, which is fine, but just letting you know that that's out there too. But I always think that these things are fun, and it was a good kind of mid-month thing to do when you're not exactly sure in between completed pages, and hauls or plans or whatever else you've got going on, like what kind of video. Thank you, Erica, for like kind of providing some ideas for content for us for the month. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week as always, and happy coloring. I'll see you in the next one.